see you guys in the dark.
Not sure if this qualifies as a glitch, but it is a deja vu-esque story. Except what I felt I was experiencing for a second time wasn't just all in my head. I was hanging out with a guy DJ at the time. He had taken me to one of his relatives' houses, an aunt, uncle, and two cousins. I was almost sure I'd been there before, at least 9 months prior to this. I recognized the people, the voices, the bedroom with the floor practically crumbling away and the junk all over the halls. I remembered it all, but DJ convinced me it was my first time there. None of his relatives remembered me. We smoked and drank, same as my first experience. Sat in the bed next to the floor with a bunch of holes in it. It was not a tidy house at all. And we talked about life, same as the first time. Then DJ wants me and him to sign the wall in black Sharpie. A bunch of names and a variety of handwritings litter every wall. Friends, lovers, relatives, over 50 different names of people that have been in this room before me. What's weird is I remember signing this wall before, but neither DJ nor his family even remember me doing so. I go to sign towards the corner between two adjacent walls. Same place I remember doing so. And my name's there, my handwriting. The cousin that was there said it might have been a friend of his from 2 years ago. Also with my name, same spelling perhaps, but he wasn't sure. But it was my handwriting. I signed my name underneath the first signature, and they're a little shocked, but not as shocked as they should have been. Both signatures with my name were written in the exact same way. I even dotted my I with a star, a force of habit I have. I'm not sure what to make of this experience. The whole time I was having deja vu, and if my name wasn't there, I would have believed I was just imagining being there. But now there are two signatures on that wall in that house belonging to the relatives of my ex-lover, written in black Sharpie around 9 or 10 months apart from each other, and DJ's family still swear they'd never even seen me a day in their lives. Another time I was coming home from work. My dog baby girl always comes to the door and barks whenever I am unlocking the door. She usually keeps barking until I pet her, and she'll go sit on the recliner. Well, one of these days I didn't even make it to my room after I sat down, and I heard her bark. She was standing in front of the door, same exact position as she was when I got home. Then she started wagging her tail and licking the air like she licked my legs mere moments ago. She walked in 2 circles, same as she did just moments ago, and she calmly walked to the recliner, jumped on it, and laid down, rolling onto her back like she did moments ago to allow me to pet her belly. Except now she did all of this while I was standing in front of my doorway, too stunned to go in. It was like a phantom version of myself came in after me, startling her, then petting her, then going with her to the recliner and patting her belly. The time between me coming home and then her doing this bizarre reenactment was less than 15 minutes. She's never done this before, and to this day she still hasn't. Weird. If you remember in the movie The Matrix, Neo, after he took the correct pill and trained a bit, was able to see the world as a series of lines and numbers streaming down. He no longer saw the world as textured and colored shapes, he saw the wireframe modeling instead. The on-screen depiction was easy for us to interpret and be able to see the room even if it was a wireframe model. One morning my wife called out, "Breakfast is almost ready." I opened my eyes to see our bedroom with an overhead fan as a wireframe model, no streaming numbers, with the fan rotating also as a wireframe. The background was black with a fluorescent green wireframe grid defining the walls, door, closet door, etc. I wondered, what was I dreaming about just before I opened my eyes? And I closed my eyes to reconnect with the dream. Nothing. So I opened my eyes to still see the room in wireframe, although it was beginning to fade to normal reality. I got up and ate breakfast and related the strangeness to my wife. Her response, "Weird, huh?" It has happened twice since. One time my wife woke me by wiggling my big toe, and when I looked at her, she was a moving wireframe. The oddest part was to see her lips moving in wireframe, just for reference, no funny cigs, no drinking, no drugs. I've asked numerous people if they had anything like this happen. So far, no one. To my memory, I have not had any wireframe dreams and had not been thinking about anything wireframe. I've never used wireframe modeling or had any other experience with it. So, anyone else out there? Did I open my eyes before the textures had been applied to the wireframes? Was I in an hypnopompic state that interfered with reality? How about you, wireframe matrix glitch? What do you think it was? Edit. My sleep doctor recently asked me, "How is the hallucinations going?" My answer, "What hallucination? To me it wasn't an hallucination, it happened. It only happens once every couple of years, so to me it's no big thing, just interesting. Weird but interesting." I was heading home with my dad. We stopped at a drive-through. I start feeling more and more anxious for no reason, to the point where it makes lightheaded and sick to my stomach. We have to wait a little bit ahead because they gave us the order wrong. So I sit there feeling like shit, and it suddenly comes to me an urge to call my brother. He was trying to call us. He was in a car accident. No one died. Some got seriously bruised. He was only shaken. I told him to shut up and get as far away from the car as possible. He didn't understand, but followed through, trying to call some of his buddies, and I could hear them calling him a wuss, him giving up and getting far, and then a loud noise, people shouting. After the whole shit was over, he told me what happened. His drunk friend tried to impress some girls in the car, hit the gas, drifted, and hit the bottom of the car on some rocks, completely fucking with the engine. They stood near the car, the driver still inside trying to turn the engine back on. The hood burst in flames and the car started to burn fast. The driver managed to get away, but got severely hurt. Some of the guys and girls who stood around were hurt and burned too, but not as bad as the driver. My brother was the only one with light bruises from the whole thing. He told me that when I ordered him to get away from the car, he was in front of it, inches from the hood. I never experienced anything like this before and after, just this once. It's just a fucking weird memory. I don't remember what I was thinking. I remember it like watching a movie and seeing myself and everything from an outside angle. I was the only one in the store, and a car pulled up to one of the two double-sided pumps out front. Pretty standard white four-door. I'm not great with car brands, but it was a little nicer, like upper middle class and probably only a few years old. A woman gets out and starts walking towards our door like she's in a daze. Legit, this woman looked like she saw a ghost. She wanders up, sort of freezes at the door for a second with a 1,000-yard stare before opening it and coming in. She didn't go looking for anything, didn't start shopping, just sort of stood inside for what felt like ages. Again, bars are still open, so I think maybe she's a little drunk or had a night or something, so I give the usual welcome to gas station, let me know if you need any help finding anything, and she finally notices me and immediately asks me the weirdest damn question I have ever been asked on the job. You can see me, right? Yeah, like what else do you say? She breaks down crying in the middle of my store, so I'm already headed around the corner to see what's up. I have my cell phone out in case I need to call the cops or something for her. I get her to sit down on a nearby pallet of soda, and I'm grabbing her a bottle of water, and after she catches her breath a little, she tells me I thought I had died. Again, I'm thinking maybe she is on something, but she's a middle-aged woman who looks like a standard local suburban housewife. We're a pretty boring township without your average junkies like you'd find closer to the cities. So she asks if she can call her husband to pick her up and wait with me. She has her own phone and does so. Not really telling him anything either, just where she is at, and if he can come get her. He says he'll call an Uber and be there as soon as possible. We're waiting. So far nobody else has showed up, so I'm keeping most of my attention on her. And eventually she starts to explain to me. I was driving home from dinner with my coworkers, and as I'm driving through nearby intersection, I recognized a truck ran a red light and hit me. Now her car is still at the pump without a scratch on it. She goes on to say she remembers her car being pushed into a pole, going airborne, and then nothing. I tried to calm her down, letting her know that her car is out front and it looks fine, but she insisted that she completely blacked out. Woke up in an ambulance for a split second, passed out again, and then woke up again in the driver's seat of her car. At the intersection, waiting for the light to change. Perfectly fine. This whole thing freaked her out so badly that she drove to the nearest anything, us, just so she could get out of the car. Husband eventually showed up to get her. He asked if I had any idea what happened. And even though she sort of explained to me, I just shrugged because no, I had no idea what was happening anymore. She reluctantly got into the passenger seat of the car and he drove them back home. That was hours ago, after which I worked an entire shift at the station trying to wrap my head around what the absolute hell I had just witnessed.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos and become a stalker of the night. And I'll see you next time.